human researchers. But it can be used in analysis and data interpretation. But still, human input is required for the data analysis and for accuracy. And the main features of the ChatGPT are: first one is generative pre-trained transformer, large scale training, contextual understanding, multiple use cases, and API based customization. So these are the features of ChatGPT. The first one is generative pre-trained transformer. So it is a generative pre-trained transformer here, a AI based model, but it creates a linguistic similar data to the human writing. So it has been a pre-trained data on the immense amount of linguistic. This tool was already trained on immense data, and it consisting of over 45 terabytes of text data. And third one is contextual understanding. So this is the AI tool that can model various conversational scenarios using its powerful language and modeling language. It allows it gives the complex structures for the researchers. It gives the complex structure whatever the conversation that was given by the user. And fourth one is multiple use cases. So ChatGPT it can be used for the natural programming languages, and it is an ideal tool for creating the content from different perspective or brainstorming content. And fourth one is customization. So it can be customized, or it can be fine tuned to the specific requirements. So it adjusts the parameters, it adjusts the word choice, it makes the sentence structures, and even word meanings also. It gives the accurate answers for the users. And last one is API based development. So ChatGPT, it can be easily integrated into applications. So it can be easily integrated through the API. So these are the features of ChatGPT. These are the 5 main features of ChatGPT. In the data analytics topics, I'm going to create a mock test for customer purchase, and how to analyze the data set based on the research papers, and how to import the data into Tableau for evaluation. As let me show the demonstration for data analysis. In the demo session, now I'm going to create a mock test for customer purchase. So now I'm going to give the sentence through the chat box. Create a suppose if you are not having any data set or any sample data set, that time using the ChatGPT, we can create a sample data set for any fields. Now I'm creating a mock data set for customer purchase. Once I give the command in the chat box, immediately it will respond. It will create 10 rows. Maximum it will create 10 rows only. So it creates the mock data set for customer purchase up to 10 customers. Suppose if you want additional rows, you can add the rows into the chat box. So in this data set, I'm having 6 fields and 10 rows: customer ID, product category, purchase date, quantity, and total. Suppose if we want to add additional fields or additional columns we can add. Suppose now I want to add now I am going to add customer name into the data set. So before adding the customer name field, I'm having only 6 fields. Now I'm adding customer name field into the data set. So it is the updated data set in which I have added the customer name field between the customer ID and the product ID. Now I have 7 fields into my database or data set. Suppose I want to add additional rows, I can add the rows. Already I'm having 10 rows in my data set. Now I'm going to add 2 more rows into my data set. After giving that, this tool that creates 12 rows. Now I have got 12 rows in my database. Here customer ID, customer name, product ID, category, date, quantity, and total purchase. Here is the sample data set for customer purchase. In this way, you can create a sample data set for any field you can create, or you can analyze the data set using the ChatGPT. Now I'm going to copy the data set. Now I'm copying the entire data set and paste it into the Excel sheet. Now I'm pasting the entire content in the Excel sheet. Here we have to change the format of date. After pasting the content, I'm going to save. So I saved in my downloads. So after saved the file, again I'm opening my Tableau tool. Here in the home tool, here I'm importing the data, importing the Excel sheet, which means customer purchase. Here I am importing the entire data into Tableau for further analysis. If you want to analyze the particular field, you open any sheets or new sheets and import sheet customer purchase. Here you can choose the columns and rows for evaluation. In the customer purchase, here I have choose customer ID as rows and quantity. For further evaluation, you can choose any field um, based on your requirements. Here I have chosen customer ID, customer name, and quantity. Based on that, it shows the report. Here you can plot the graph. You can use many graph like this. You can import. You can apply different types of graph for your requirements. In this way, you can analyze the data easily using the ChatGPT. Suppose if you are not having any data set currently, easily you can create a sample data set and easily you can paste in your Excel sheet, copy into the Excel sheet and import the same data into the Tableau and you can evaluate the data set. In this way, the data can be analyzed easily using the ChatGPT. This is the one way of analyzation using the ChatGPT. Suppose if you are having the data set or CSV file or Excel file, whatever it may be, easily you can copy the text file or Excel file or paste it into the chat box and directly based on the data, you can analyze the data. Here already I have saved iris data set. Here I am going to copy the iris data set entirely and paste it into the chat box and I am going to analyze the data. Here in my second way, already it is a saved file. Now I am going to copy the data. Now I am going to copy the iris data set which is already saved. So it totally it will have 150 data in the data set. Now I'm going to copy the entire data set. So I copied the entire data set and I'm pasted it into the chat box. So it is a CSV file only. Now I'm going to convert the entire data set into the table format. I'm not having the table format. So I just copy the CSV file and copy and using the chat box, I'm going to convert the data as table format. So entire content I have placed in the chat box. Now I'm going to convert suppose if it stops response, you just give continue response or regenerate response. Now the table has been converted as now the table data has been converted as table. Now it can analyze the data based on the fields. In this table, I have in this table I have 6 fields: ID, sepal length, width, petal length, width, and species. This the last attribute species as a target data or target attribute. Based on that, I am going to analyze the data set. So based on the data set, whatever you have given in the chat box, you can analyze the data. Now I am going to give now I want to know what are the total count in the data set. So immediately it gives the total count of the data set is 150. So in this data set, I'll have 150 data in this data set. Give me the count of data set using. Now I'm going to give the count of data set using a particular field, which means species. So based on the particular field, you can give the count using the ChatGPT. So in the species, Setosa data, 50 Setosa data will be there, and versicolor and Virginia, each one will have 50 data in this data set. In this way, you can analyze the data using the ChatGPT. Code also you can develop using the ChatGPT. Now I show you. So in this data set has 3 classes or 3 class distribution: Setosa, versicolor, and Virginica. Now I'm going to build a model in Python using Python code. Now I'm going to build a model to predict the species as target class, because species are my target class. So I'm going to predict the species. So if you are giving the command, the code will be created automatically. So based on your requirements, the code can be generated automatically using the ChatGPT. So in this way, the ChatGPT will be very useful for the researchers. In third way, so it is useful for students also. Suppose some students they want to get some information regarding the politicians or general information like that. They can get the information through the ChatGPT easily. Let me show the example. At which year now I want to get the information about the Prime Ministers of India. So I'm asking A, at which year did each Indian Prime Minister has been elected? I'm asking A tool to answer. So totally it shows 16 data. Now I add more fields in the table. Now I'm going to add two more data, birth date and birth city to the data. Now I'm going to convert the entire data into the as table format. Now I'm converting the data as a table format. So if you want the data, you can copy the data and save it in the Excel file. After saving the Excel file, you just go to Tableau tool and import the data set, and you can apply the geotagging graph on that. So if you apply the geotagging, already I have done here. So if you apply on that, the geotag or mapping will be shown here. For 13 ministers, it shows the location, birth location. So this is the data set of first one. This is the data row of second one. This is the data of third one. Like this, it shows. So in this way, can analyze the data set and data or using the ChatGPT. So data interpretation can be done easily through the ChatGPT, and data analyzation also done easily done through the ChatGPT. So in this way, it will be very useful for researchers. Now I'm going to tell you how it will be very useful for researchers. How it refines the project or thesis or dissertation using ChatGPT. So suppose if you are having you have developed the abstract, but you are stuck to create a title for that content. So at that time you can just paste the abstract into the chat box, and if you are giving suggest any titles regarding this abstract or related to abstract, immediately it suggests two or more titles for the abstract. You can choose anyone, or it can choose and refine the title further. Suppose if you want the titles immediately, it can take directly, or else it can just fine tune the titles and you can use the title. Now I show you how to do that. So this abstract I have developed, but I'm not giving any title for that abstract. Here, if I'm placing the abstract in the chat box, next, now I'm going to ask the AI to suggest any title format for my research paper. Here, suggest any suitable titles for my abstract. If you are giving like that, it shows 10 titles. You can choose any one title, and if but you should not use directly the title, but you can further update the titles and use it. So in this way, suppose if you already have that, if you have developed the abstract, but if you want to fine tune, or if you want to refine the abstract, that time you can use the ChatGPT. This is the second way of using uh, research work. Or suppose if we want to get objective of the study, you can apply the apply, or you can use the chat box. And suppose if you want to get the research gap, you can ask the AI tool to get the research gap. Here, let me show. Now I'm asking AI tool to give me the research gap for abstract. I'm not choosing any title here. Based on the abstract, whatever I have given, I request AI tool to give the research gap. So it has given the research gap regarding your abstract. Suppose in this way, can you can get the objectives or goals of the research work, and literature survey also you can ask AI tool. So in this way, researchers can use the ChatGPT effectively. So you can ask, finally, you can ask conclusion also. So this AI tool has given the conclusion for my abstract. In a conclusion, the paper presents a novel and intelligent healthcare system. So in this way, it can create the content easily, but it should not. But this content, this may be accurate or may not be accurate, but you should not use the content directly or based on the content. But it assists the researchers based on the content. You read the content and fine tune the content. You should not use the content directly. You can change the words, or you should not use the content directly because it may not be accurate, because ChatGPT, it gets the massive data from internet, so that in that data will not be true or false. Whether we don't know that data will be true or false. So but using the ChatGPT, we can get the content, but we have to fine tune the content, and we can use it for your research work. So in this way, using the ChatGPT, the data can be analyzed easily. But the data, if you are having the data, you can directly import the data into the ChatGPT or the chatbot, and it can analyze the data. Or if you are not having the data for the particular field, or you can create a sample data set using the ChatGPT, and the data set will be copy into the Excel sheet, and you can for further analysis, or import into the Tableau tool for further analysis. Then in this way, you can create the chat. You can use the ChatGPT, very useful. So and it is very useful for researchers, and research work. Research work can be fine tuned by ChatGPT. So for researchers, the ChatGPT is useful for creating the creating titles for research papers, and writing research questions and objectives, and abstract research gap also can be developed, and research literature reviews can be used, and finally conclusion also conclusion also given. So this ChatGPT is very useful. In this way, ChatGPT is useful for researchers. One way is analyzing the data, and second way is refining the research papers. I think it times to end of my session. Sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Participants, if you have any queries regarding in that, you can ask me in the chat box. Yes. If you have any queries regarding on that, you can post your thing in the chat box. Okay. I think the session might be useful for the research scholars and the faculty members. The next session was handled by Dr. Ravi Saravan, sir, Vice Principal Academics, Head in Charge for BSc Computer Science program. So, sir will continue the session about the ChatGPT process for both faculties and students. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. Let me
Thank you.
share my screen. Dr. Purnima ma'am, can you just please unshare
Purnia,
your
ma'am, can you
screen?
please stop sharing the screen, ma'am?
Fine now?
Yes, sir. Is it visible, sir? Visible, sir.
Fine. So, very good evening to all of you. So, first of all, let me thank Dr. Purnima for having giving you some guidelines about using the ChatGPT effectively for the research work. Right? And the next 15 minutes, let us talk how to make use of this concept of ChatGPT in Microsoft Word. So very simply, let us talk about a simple add-in that is available, so that without logging into ChatGPT or using any other tools, let us see how to use this concept of ChatGPT add-in in the Microsoft Word itself, right? So of this, and at the end of this 15-minute session, you are going to see how to generate letters as per our requirements. Maybe as a student, you can generate some letters, department or manager, or as a faculty, you may submit some letters, and how to generate a tailored made resume for the job that is based on some description that you give. And I'm just maintaining a blog, and I would like to generate some content for that, and maybe some 10 to 15 lines. And I have some lengthier reports for about 1 or 2 pages. I would like to summarize it, and simple templates I would like to create, using the ChatGPT add-on. So the only one thing that what you have to do is, the add-in that is available in this website. Click on this, you will be able to generate, get that add-on. So this add-on is available, and I have saved this add-on in the folder called, ChatGPT add-in. You can save it anywhere. It is up to you. Okay. So by default, it is saved under the downloads folder, but I saved it in the ChatGPT add-in and another folder in the downloads. So this is one, file that you will get it. Let us see how to this file as an add-in for your Microsoft Word. You just open the Microsoft Word, and once you open the Microsoft Word, you just go to the options, most options, go down. You will see an option called file location, which is in general, right? Again, tell you one more time. Just go to file, options, advanced, go to the end, right where we find general file locations. This is very important. This is the location where the add-in is available, and you would like to set that location. Very simple. Go to the file location, right? So this is the default setup that is already available. Don't make any changes there. Go to the startup file. As you start the Microsoft Word, I would like the ChatGPT add-in to be open. Okay. So just choose this, the last option, click modify, and choose, the ChatGPT, folder that is available, right? Suppose if you have chosen desktop or any other folder, you can choose it accordingly. Okay. So here I have chosen C:, downloads folder, ChatGPT add-in. This is the location where this add-in file that I have downloaded recently is available. Okay, just click OK. Okay, you will see a ChatGPT add-in here, right? Next to your home button, you will find a ChatGPT add-in that. So you will see the other options as it is, right? So only one thing. So what to do next is, you just go to the ChatGPT login. Yesterday, Mr. Vivek was talking about how to create ChatGPT login and how to even run some of the queries. Even it's been discussed in the Just go to APA reference. Already I logged in through my Google account. Just go to the APA reference. Okay, and there is something called APA keys. This is very important here. Visit your APA keys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this, platform.openai.com, the ChatGPT, with the add-in that is available. For this, you need a key. You just click this, visit your APA keys. Okay, you can create a new secret key that is available, and this key is only for you. And you have to mention the name of the key here, right? You can say that it is your key, right? Right. So key of, say, so Dr. Saravanan, right? Or if you want to be more precise, you can say, right, APA key, right? So whatever it is, right, you just mention the name of the key. That's it, right? If you just press the creates secret key, a key will be created at this. You can just see it here. Already I've created the key, and this key is in alphanumerics, right? So this is the open API key that is created in the login, in the ChatGPT login. Once done, right? So close the ChatGPT, right? That's it, right? You move to the Microsoft Word. Yeah, the ChatGPT add-in, you will find AI Writer, which is connected with the ChatGPT, right? And the other options like chat, reset, we will discuss it maybe in the days to come. We are going to talk about how to use this AI Writer today. And once you do something, whatever it is, we are going to communicate through your key. Already I've added the key, and when you are logging in first time, it will ask you the key. Okay, so you can see that, you can see that the key is already added. Whatever key I have generated through ChatGPT API key option, that is already available. Okay, it is already added. When you are logging in first time, it will ask you to enter the key, enter this key now, right? So this is already available. Or if you want to change the key, you can change it also. Okay, now everything is available. Now ChatGPT, add-in is enabled here. Now, what is the first thing that what we are going to do here? You just type something that whatever you want is. Here I just type some basic thing, right? So one student, who's studying the third year degree program is writing a letter to the head of the department, so requesting a bona fide certificate to apply for a bank loan. That's it, right? So the description is given, the short description is given. As far as possible, try to add some details like the name of the student, which program you are studying, what is the purpose of this certificate, or name of the certificate, purpose of the certificate, or if you want to be more precise, you can say the name of the department, something like that, right? To whom you are addressing, the head of the department or manager, some prerequisite is needed. Okay, you type something here. That's it. You select it. This is what I have done. Now you just click this AI Writer. Once you click this AI Writer, automatically, right? Already you're given the key. Through the key, it is connected with the ChatGPT, online open AI platform, and will give you the results. Let us see what the results is. What is the result you get? I just select it and click the AI Writer. Just take few seconds, right? So through your API key, it is fetching the responses, and it gives you the results. Then you can see a beautiful result. The page, the letter is being generated. Dear head of the department, I'm writing to request a bona fide certificate from the department that states I am a student of third year at this institution. If you want, you can specify the registration number. The purpose of the certificate is to apply for a bank loan that will help me finance my education. I'd be grateful if you could issue the certificate, etc., etc. Right. So some of the students, still, they face difficulties in writing these letters. An excellent letter which is written or which is just generated from the word itself, right? And the prerequisite here is the API key and the ChatGPT add-ins, right? It is one thing. Number two, I just type something again here. Again, some request is being given by the student. Just, I will explain with different examples. My name is so and so, studying in this course. He is writing a letter to the other department requesting extension of 3 days time to submit an assignment for the course of the engineering. Right? Suppose if you want to say that deadline, and after this deadline, I want to give some 3 days, whatever it is. So let your requirement be precise. So here, as far as possible, I have given few details, but still you can enrich this. I've given the name of the student. I've given the program name, right? To whom it is addressing. What is the reason? Extension of 3 days, extension. How many days? 3 days of time. What is that? To submit an assignment. What is the course name? Everything is given. Okay, just type it, whatever you want. Select it. Go to the AI writer. Just wait for 2 seconds. The prerequisite here is again you should have an active internet connection. Otherwise, it's not possible for you to get the output here. Right. So based on the number of lines that you are giving as the input, the system will take some time, maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Here you get a beautiful letter again. The subject request for extension of assignment. You can just see it here. A beautiful letter, right? So where you can use it for, right? Sometimes the ChatGPT gives this some options, like you can see it here. My name is Raja. I have given the name as Raja, but in output, it is not given. Of course, you can edit it, right? Sometimes because it is learning, right? A second option. I'll just give the third example that is available again, right? So my name is so and so. I'm studying this course. Is writing a letter to that extension of 1 week time to pay the tuition fees, right? Just click the AI writer. Again, let the requirements be precise about the extension, whatever it is. Here you can see that, unlike the previous cases, here, the ChatGPT is giving you sorry fear. I'm sorry, as a helpful chatbot with expertise in HTML, I'm not programmed to write letters or to perform some tasks. In the sense, sometimes as the system learns, it may get some negative results because it has false positives, right? And machine learning. That is, sometimes you may get this kind of things. But don't worry about it. Maybe when you try next time, you will get it, right? Or you keep trying. It's just the probability. Sometimes you may get it, the negative results. Maybe due to the issues that we face in the machine learning algorithms. Here you can see that the letter is being generated now. Right? So automatically an output file is created, and this output file is stored in my desktop actually in the end. Right? And another thing here is, right, again for the case of a student, the student want to write a CV for the post of a software engineer, right? And the student name is given as Arun. He is working in the software company for the 5 years, and 3 years of experience he has in training. He has completed BSc Computer Science from an institution, and his rank is this, and he has completed in 2015. He has completed his schools in this school with the marks of 80%. And again, there are some few more information that is given here. He has undergone 6 months of training in Microsoft Academy. Whatever information you have, type about yourself, some brief description about you. Just click the AI writer, right? Of course, here the text is more, and the keywords identified, or I have talked about the keywords, about nature of job and name and etc. The keywords are more. It's purely the natural language processing, right? So the system takes some time to give you the results. And be clear again and again. I'm using this word. Be clear about the requirements. Can I get a beautiful curriculum meeting? It talks about the personal information, experience, and what is your professional experience, what is my skills. You can add it always, right? You can enrich it. I have not given much about my skills based on the level of the student, the undergraduate or postgraduate, or the experience. That the ChatGPT itself will come up with some kind of skills, right? About my education, all those things, right? So this one example for the students. And I'm maintaining a blog, I'm just maintaining a blog for my course called software engineering. As a teacher, I would like to use it, right? I use the ChatGPT to write something in my blog, right? Generate content for my blog title. What's the title that you want to give? You just press the AI writer, right? And be precise again about the requirements, about the title that what you want to give. And the first few keywords are very important here. Like, generate the content for your blog or for your, anything like an Instagram blog or Facebook message, whatever it is, any social media, right? In the sense, right? So we'll get a beautiful thing about the software engineering life cycle models. You get it here. This I will use it and I will just go through it and put it in my blog very easy. This makes my job so easy, right? And you can think about summarizing. You have some content now the system has generated some content, right? System has generated some content. Here it is. I have around 1 page of write-up. I would like to summarize it. I don't know what it is. You have about 10 pages of Word document. You have 25 pages of Word document. This you would like to summarize it. You see it here. The ChatGPT add-in has given you an excellent summarization with the 4 lines. And finally, right, you create an email template for the following, right? So your name and you mention your request and give you an excellent email template, which will really help saving a lot of time. Right? So again, the sort of a template, right? The system gives you. Here I have shown you some, so 9 examples. And the last example is something like a sort of a business proposal. If you want to start a business, or if your students want to have a startup, they can the business proposal is very important, but you don't know how to create a business proposal. I want to create a business proposal, and I have given my name and my education and where I am living. I want to start a company called Sport Innovative Solutions. And what is the objective of this company, the proposed company? Right, type it, select it, press the AI writer, right? The system will generate a beautiful business proposal, and you can go through it and you can always enrich it, right? Because the business proposal or the output that what you will get it's not a complete output, right? So it needs refinement, it needs updation. Right? Wait for the system to give you a business proposal. Yeah, you got it. The business proposal, the title, the company overview, what kind of services that you want to give, what is the target market, competitive advantage, inclusion, everything. Right. So here you just see that the details, the business is just for about a page, right? If you add more details about your company, proposed company, what will be your annual budget, what turnover that you expect, what sort of clients you expect, everything. If you could just give more requirements, the system will give you the more outputs, right? So this is about using the ChatGPT effectively for your as an add-in in the Microsoft Word. I'm sure that this kind of things that what we present here, right? I'm sure that this will really help you in saving your time. As I was talking even yesterday, our objective here is to see that your daily office time is being saved, right? 2 hours per day. You can just see it here how long it will take for the student to write a letter, how long it will take us to write a resume. I'm sure that the resume writing itself will take 2 or 3 days. Sometimes, right? If you have a very lengthy resume, at least for the student, it will take some 3 to 4 hours. Right? If you want to write a blog, content for a blog, and the summarization is very important. After going through the book for around 200 pages, you want to summarize it. Think about the time that will take, right? And in a nutshell, if you put it, it is useful for all, whether it is a student or a faculty or a scholar or whoever it is based on your need. If you give the requirements clearly, I'm sure that you will be able to get the output more clearly or in a more elaborative way. So that's it, and thank you very much. I'm sure that we'll be able to discuss a lot of new features maybe in the days to come. Like yesterday,
Thank you, sir. That was a wonderful session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Participants, if you have any queries regarding this using ChatGPT add-in, you can unmute yourself. You can ask your queries. Otherwise, you can post your queries in chat box.
Like yesterday, if you feel like this lectures, both these sessions today will save your time in some way or other, you can put yes in the chat box so that we'll understand yes, it is being.
Yes, Sivakumar sir, I think you have raised your hand. If you have any queries, Dr. S. Sivakumar sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So you have
Hello.
any queries?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, principal, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, very nice presentation, sir. So you are explaining the with the help of the ChatGPT, connect with the MS Word. So actually, nowadays, the most of the people talking about the AI and ChatGPT, it creates unemployability because we have to create, we have to requirement the person specifically. I need a programmer means I recruit the programmer. So in case I implemented the ChatGPT means there is no need of programmer. So the AI and ChatGPT, it will create unemployability. Like that, they have to talk that. So what do you think about whether the AI is create the unemployability, sir?
It may look like that, but it is not so in the sense, there are plenty of things. We are using ChatGPT, the number of hours, the researchers might have spent to develop the system. Or suppose if somebody is writing a research paper or even completing a research in the ChatGPT, we need to have another software to tell whether or to predict whether the software, whether the research work done by a research scholar or the assignment submitted by the student, is it a real contribution by the student or is it done by the ChatGPT? So there are a lot of, I'm sure that will create an employment for because it is being implemented in all the areas, right? So it is a highly paid job nowadays if you are having the knowledge about using AI in variety of applications, right? I'm sure that this will create a job and I'm sure that there will not be any question about unemployment. Yes, Uday Kumar, you can just give the feedback and
I think there is no queries in the chat box, sir.
Okay, fine. You can give the feedback and close it.
Yes, so the feedback can be posted, sir.
Yeah. So the participants
Okay,
are expected to enter the feedback, right?
Thank you, sir. Okay. Participants, just click the feedback link. It is available in the chat box. Those who are attending in the YouTube live, you can check the feedback link in the chat box also. So the tomorrow session will be on holiday. The day 3 session will be on Monday at 5 to 6 p.m. Okay, please join the session on time. Once you complete the feedback link, you can leave the chat. Sanjay ma'am, can you please fill the day 2 feedback link? So we will share the day 1 feedback later.